Though Kuwait, who have been Asian champions, you have to go back to 1980 for the glory era of Kuwaiti football, when 2 years after winning the Asian Cup, they also qualified for their one and only World Cup finals appearance in 1982 in Spain. So these are the pictures from inside the rectangular stadium in Melbourne, the first of 7 matches that will be played here in the Asian Cup, the home ground of Aussie A-League teams Melbourne Victory and Melbourne City. It is a sellout. We're understood there was only 1,000 tickets left available yesterday, and they are believed to have been snapped up. It's a wonderful setting, and it should be a fantastic atmosphere as Group A gets underway. A group that also contains Oman and the very dangerous South Korea. It is a tough group. Kuwait are very much the outsiders these days. Those glory eras that I was talking about in the mid-70s to the mid-80s are long gone. They are the outsiders, and Australia will feel that this is an opportunity to bank 3 early points. Well, this is the handover of the Asian Cup. That is the JFA president of the Japanese FA, Kuniya Daini. Japanese getting used to this. They've won 3 of the last 4 Asian Cups and are hot favourites yet again to lift the trophy. Who knows, maybe it could even be a repeat of the final from 4 years ago in Qatar between Australia and Japan. Handing the trophy over to Salman Al Khalifa, the AFC president. The question is, will it be a matter of weeks before he gets his hands on that trophy again, or will it be a 4-year wait for Japan to be Asia's finest? Australia are hoping to take that trophy away from them and lift it for the very first time. The atmosphere really building. There is the Kuwaiti contingent. Doesn't make too good the reading of their recent record in this competition. They haven't gone beyond the group stages since 2000, when they reached the quarter-finals before losing to the runners-up that year, Saudi Arabia, another nation who have dominated this competition along with the Japanese. They too have won 3 Asian Cups since Kuwait won the tournament back in 1980. Mile Jedinak will be the captain of Australia. Now he's been in terrific form with Crystal Palace this season. Delighted to say, alongside myself, Wayne Boyce, is Stuart Robson to take you through the opening game of the 2015 Asian Cup. All the pressure, Stuart, very much on Australia.
Yes, it is. I thought they had a good World Cup despite losing all their games. They really gave the Netherlands a tough time in that game. They've got some good players, and I think they've been well coached by Postecoglou, who seems to have got the balance right between the attacking side of the game and the defensive side of the game. Cahill will lead the line. He's good in the air. Other players will run beyond. He's played a very attacking lineup here today. He's going for the win. Kuwait, I think it's going to be difficult for them. Just had a new manager in the last month or so, Malul. I'm not sure they're ready for the tournament.
Now, they do seem to be in a little bit of disarray. A disappointing Gulf Cup that ultimately ended in a humiliating 5-0 loss to Oman, one of the teams who are in this group. They will get a chance to put that result right, but it was a defeat that sent Kuwait out of the Gulf Cup in the group stages, a competition that they've won on 10 occasions. That was deemed as unacceptable, and their Brazilian coach, Jovan Vieira, was sacked and replaced with the Tunisian Nabil Malou. The problem is the 52-year-old has had just 1 match, a 1-1 draw against Iraq in December, to prepare his team for this competition. Another warm-up match against the United Arab Emirates, scheduled for last week, was abandoned because of a dispute over a video recording. Don't have any more information than that as to the reason why. Fabulous atmosphere inside the Melbourne rectangular stadium. Just over 30,000, the capacity of this ground that hosts many sports as well as pop concerts. The Rugby League World Cup will have its place here as well in 2 years' time. 2 teams are out. Australia in the traditional gold shirts and green shorts. Kuwait in the blue shirts. The dignitaries being presented to the two side, that is Mesaid Al-Enzi, the captain of Kuwait. In many ways, no pressure on Kuwait this year. The expectation levels are much lower than in previous competitions. Winners in 1980, semi-finalists in 84 and 96, runners-up back in 1976 as well. The quarter-finals of 2000, though, the last time they made it through the group stages. And back in 2007, in Australia's first ever appearance in the Asian Cup, Kuwait failed to qualify. Tense moments these, Stuart, for the players.
Yeah, they just want to get on with the game. The crowd are desperate for the game to get going as well. There's a great atmosphere inside the ground. Players very tense in this opening fixture, but they've got some experience in the side. Have Australia. Cahill, he said, will lead the line. Jedinak, the holding midfield player. Sparanovic, the centre half. Some key players. And watch out for Matthew Leckie, who I thought was excellent at the World Cup. Can play on the right-hand side or the left, but he's a good runner with the ball. And he's a good crosser of the ball as well.
It's been a long way for the two sides. Now it is time for the anthems.
And now the national anthem of Australia.
High expectation levels for Australia. It may not be the main sport in this country, but the Australian FA see this as a wonderful opportunity to really heighten the profile of what is the world game here in Australia. And what better way to do it than for the Socceroos to lift the Asian Cup for the very first time. They're certainly seen as one of the main rivals to the red-hot favourites, Japan. And another nation eager to prove themselves this time around will be the South Koreans, who, despite qualifying for all those World Cups, haven't been Asian champions since 1960. So here's the Australian 11 then, charged with kicking off the campaign. Tim Cahill is likely to be featuring in his last major tournament. Mile Jedinak has been in superb form for Crystal Palace this season, will hold the midfield together. Massimo Luongo and Trent Sainsbury represent the new generation. They've won just 9 caps between them. On paper, it should be straightforward for Australia. The extra pressure of being the host nation and the high expectation levels here may just well give an opening to Kuwait, who have actually beaten Australia 4 times in their last 6 meetings. Top draw referee for this one, Rashvan Ermatov of Uzbekistan. The 37-year-old took charge of the 2011 Asian Cup final between Australia and Japan. He's refereed at 2 World Cups and actually holds the record for officiating the most World Cup matches, 9 in all after the 2014 World Cup. Is 5 times the Asian Referee of the Year. Well, here's the Kuwaiti starting 11. A couple of surprise omissions in their starting 11 here. Hamid Youssef with 10 caps is preferred to Nawaf Al-Khaldi, who's won 105 in goal for Kuwait. Star striker Badr Al-Mutawa is just 3 shy of 50 international goals, but he is amongst the Kuwaiti substitutes. The entire Kuwaiti squad play their club football in the Middle East. Only Hussein and Alenzi of the starting 11 play their football outside of Kuwait. Well, there is the Kuwaiti bench. Don't be at all surprised to see the introduction of Al-Mutawa at some point. So the opening match of the 2015 Asian Cup, the quest to find Asia's champions for the next 4 years. Japan have handed the trophy back to the AFC, and it will be the runners-up from 4 years ago and the host nation this time around, Australia, to kick off this competition against the 1980 Asian champions, Kuwait. When boys, to take you through the action, Stuart Robson is alongside me. Stuart, Kuwait have nothing to lose, do they?
No, they don't. They've put out a very defensive lineup. They're going to try and play on the counter-attack, you'd imagine. As you quite rightly say, they've got nothing to lose. With a new manager, they've just got to put in a good performance.
And it is Australia in the gold and green who kick off the 2015 Asian Cup. It's the moment they've been waiting for since switching from Oceania across to the AFC to improve the overall quality of the national team, gaining more competitive matches. It's certainly done that. But their main goal, or one of the main goals, is to lift this trophy. Never failed to go beyond the group stages in their 2 previous appearances, quarter-finals, and then runners-up 4 years ago. Here's Cruz. Luongo. Back in possession though with Aziz. Well, not for long, he's immediately pressurised by Luongo, and it's a free kick to Kuwait.
Yeah, Aziz is going to be the lone striker. Faisal's going to be playing out on the left-hand side. It's a 5-man midfield for Kuwait. Very much on the defensive right from the start of the game. There's the midfield player, Luongo, for Australia.
Katani. Overhitting that though towards Faisal. Throw for Kuwait. Behech getting the foot in though. Australia will be looking to start well. It's a tough group, remember. South Korea, the main rivals for Australia. You feel for top spot in the group. They'll be the 2 sides expected to qualify, but don't write off Oman. They're a decent outfit. And on their day in the past, Kuwait have proved problematic for Australia.
Left back trying to get forward. The hitch. They will play that big diagonal. Sainsbury, the right-sided centre-half, likes to hit that big diagonal out to the left-hand side.
He's challenging for the ball. Australia have it back, though. Never met in the Asian Cup finals. They've met 4 times in the qualifying tournament, though. Kuwait coming out on top with 2 wins, 1 win for Australia and 1 draw. 4 wins in their last 6 meetings for Kuwait against Australia. Kuwait are a team in pretty much disarray coming into this competition. Barely any chance at all for their coach Nabil Malou to work with the side. Here's Franjic. Lack of preparation did Denmark no harm at all, did it, in the European Championships of 1992. Here's Franjic. Sainsbury. Touch off by Troisi. Sporanovic.
Every Kuwaiti player behind the ball.
Here maybe to get the ball into the centre. Header behind for a corner. Behic it was getting forward, looking to whip the cross in.
Yeah, Cahill had just made a run away from the goal, going back towards the penalty spot. He wanted the ball cut back, and that's where he's so dangerous. In the air, Tim Cahill, he finds space. Good header of the ball. Zonal marking from Kuwait.
Corner taken short to Cruz. Troisi. Into the danger zone again. The head on by Jedinak.
It was well worked by Australia to get the cross in, trying to suck Kuwait out.
Aziz. Aziz to win possession of the ball, but they don't keep it for long, Kuwait. There's Behic. Now Jedinak. Leckie. Wayward one from Troisi. When Kuwait pick up possession of the ball, the head goes up and there's somebody in blue ahead of the man in possession. Here's Al-Qahtani. Strong challenge by Sainsbury. Back though by Al-Hajri.
Al-Hajri, the right back, doing well, just intercepting the ball as it was played into Cahill.
Sporanovic. Set themselves up to prevent that electric bombardment that you may have expected from Australia as the host nation, looking for that early goal just to settle any nerves there might be. Leckie beaten to that though by Faisal.
Yeah, Faisal was playing on the left-hand side of midfield. He's going to double up with the fullback against Leckie.
Foul that time on Sultan.
Yeah, Franjic the player, going in. Well, they were known several years ago, Australia, for being a very physical side. Not quite the same height in their team or physicality about them. Play much better football.
It's out of play for Al-Qahtani. By Sultan. In there again by Sultan, but Jedinak wins it back for Australia. If they are to do well, Australia, you feel that they need Jedinak to put in the kind of performances he has done for Crystal Palace so far this season in the Premier League. Sultan. Now Al-Qahtani. Qahtani again. Seen plenty of it on this near side early on. That's a neat touch back from Sultan to Al-Qahtani. Couldn't pick out a teammate though, and it's deflected behind off Sainsbury, but that's the best we've seen so far from Kuwait.
Yeah, good play from Al-Qahtani and Faisal down this left-hand side. There's the ball. Little back heel. Luongo doesn't go with his runner. Franic is screaming at him there, but there wasn't too much on when he got into that position.
Sees with the corner. It's a low delivery, it's come through, a Kuwait lead! Well, can you believe this? A sucker punch from a corner, and it's Hussein who has put the side from the Middle East ahead here against Australia. Well, they weren't banking on that, the Socceroos and their supporters, and delight for the small band of Kuwaiti supporters. Hussein's header, it's Australia 0, Kuwait 1, and Stuart, this wasn't in the script.
Well, the player in the near post zone should deal with it, but he doesn't do so. Then Cahill's marking on the wrong side. Cahill was actually in the space trying to defend it. He looked around, there's poor marking in there, but what a brave header it was from Hussein. Gets there first, ducks his head, Cahill goes with his foot. A really good finish. Look, when he first took the corners out, it was a poor one from Aziz. Misunderstanding between Cahill and Bihic. And that certainly silenced the crowd here.
Third international goal for Hussein Fadal. So just the one in the qualifiers and a 2-1 win away to Thailand. What a start for Kuwait, just 8 minutes gone. And Australia find themselves behind. Here's Sainsbury. What that does, of course, is set up Kuwait absolutely perfectly to continue the way they set out. And now with a 1-goal lead to defend. Here's Al-Qahtani charging forwards, showing a good bit of pace. Jedinak nudging him over. And the ball back with Matt Ryan. I think his first touch of the ball, the Australian goalkeeper, was actually to take it out of the back of his goal.
Did he get a slight touch with his right hand on the goal? But it was very, very neatly done by the centre-half, Hussein.
Franic. The Australian FA were talking about the need to get off to a good start to really ignite the imagination of the locals. It's a long way to go, but I imagine the start hasn't gone down too well. Spiranovic. Kuwait, by the way, one of 11 teams in the Asian Cup this year who've appointed a new coach in the last year. Being too much stability in coaching circles for the 16 qualified nations. Troisi. Forward by Sainsbury. Luongo. To hit back as quickly as possible, Australia. That was a sliding challenge from Al-Qahtani, who has drawn a free kick.
Yeah, the left-back's had a good start to the game. This wasn't one of his better moments. Just went over the top of the ball in the end. Luongo. This is where Cahill, Jedinak, Spiranovic will be a real threat in the air. Again, Kuwait, zonal marking. What they try and do at times, Australia, they try and shield Cahill. He gets in a little posse of players and then tries to make his run from that position so he can't be picked up.
Voted in by Luongo. In the end, that's an easy gather for Hamid in the Kuwaiti goal from Spiranovic's header. Set piece is normally a strong point for Australia, attacking-wise and defensively, which was all the more surprising that Hussein was able to sneak in with that header to give Kuwait the surprise lead. Behic.
Okay, he was the closest player to the centre-half, but he wasn't actually marking. He was in the middle of the goal, ready to attack every ball that came in. He wasn't one of the man markers. And problems for Postecoglou.
Took over in October of 2013 to replace Olga Roziek, who led Brisbane Roar to 2 A-League titles. Actually born in Greece, but won 4 caps for Australia as a player. It's a throw for Kuwait.
Postecoglou nearly pulled off a great victory. Was in the stadium at Porto Alegre when they were 1-0 up and 2-1 up against the Dutch. They could have gone 3-1 up.
Ultimately lost all 3 games though to the Netherlands, Chile and Spain to exit at the group stage of the World Cup for the 2nd time in succession. Since the 2006 switch to Asia, they've qualified for 3 successive World Cups. Prior to that, they'd only played in 1974. It has certainly worked for them. It's Al-Qahtani. Made a good start to the game, the left back, and again Al-Qahtani looking dangerous. Taken away though, and the shots in the end is gathered by Ryan. Lucky winning the ball initially.
Al-Maqsid, who just came in, trying to get his shot away. He's the diminutive player who's starting out on the right-hand side. He's a left footer.
Leckie. Al-Qahtani. Under pressure from Leckie. Luongo trying to win it back for Australia and does. Now Leckie with the chance to cross. Gets the cross in. Cahill with the header. Cleared away by Al-Maqsid. I'll tell you what, they're getting through some work early on, the Kuwaiti players.
They certainly are. Good cross from Leckie to the far post. Cahill jumping early. The referee's going to take no nonsense here. He is a good referee, an experienced one. One or two of the Kuwaiti players were moaning that Cahill jumped too early and was on the shoulders of the defenders. He got away with that. Here it is again. He just jumps early. It's a good header from him. Just trying to hit it back into the dangerous area.
35 now. Playing his trade at New York Red Bulls in the MLS, the former Millwall and Everton player. 36 goals in 76 internationals. It's a proud record that he holds. Playing in his 4th Asian Cup now. He's played in 3 World Cups, but this is likely to be his 9th and last major international tournament. How he will be missed. It's Behic. Towards Cahill, but cleared away by Alenzi. Spiranovic. This is Jedinak. Qahtani with the header away. Challenge by Hussein, the goal scorer. Header out by Spiranovic.
It's going to be very difficult for Postecoglou's men to break through the middle of this Kuwait side. Playing very narrow, got a lot of players in there. He's going to find a way to break them down now.
Touched off by Leckie. Return back from Cruz. Unorthodox challenge by Alenzi, but did the job nonetheless.
Just needed to lift the ball over the foot of Alenzi, who had made his mind up that he was going to slide in. There's the danger of Leckie down the right-hand side.
It's very quickly taken. Already Australia showing a bit of urgency. Franic with it. Jedinak. Plenty of time for the host nation to pull this around. Sainsbury, Spiranovic. Yeah, Kuwait backing off. Look how many blue shirts are between the ball and the Kuwaiti penalty area. I wonder how sustainable that is for the full 90 minutes. They have a game plan and they're sticking to it, but here's a chance maybe now. And the foul right on the edge of the box on Robbie Cruz draws a yellow card. I think a number of this crowd thought that the trip had taken place just inside the area, but I think the referee's got it right.
Yeah, good little run from Cruz. Just sweeps the ball with his left foot past the lunging tackle of Hussein. He's still moaning. Ibrahim went to the ball was played past him, meant Hussein had to come out, and he didn't make a very good job of it there.
Lovely start for Hussein, the opening goal, and then becomes the first player booked in the tournament as well, who plays in the United Arab Emirates for Al Wada. And this is a glorious chance for Australia. The target for Kuwait, of course, will be to hold on to this lead until at least half-time, and they can get a bit of respite. Is any surprise to how the pattern of the game has gone in the opening 19 minutes, apart from the fact that Kuwait have scored. Troisi and Jedinak over this. Cahill making a nuisance of himself in the Kuwaiti wall. He's giving him a little shovel too. Jedinak or Troisi?
No, I think it's got to be Jedinak from here. Cahill will just move out the way at the last minute, trying to block the goalkeeper's line of vision.
5 goals this season for Crystal Palace. Troisi leaves it. It is Jedinak off the wall and over though. It's a corner.
Didn't quite get the height on it here. He turns his head on it.
Batch of Kuwaiti supporters behind that goal celebrated it like they did the Kuwait goal. Here comes the latest corner. Kuwait defending well so far though. Franjic with the cross in. Got another 70 minutes or so of this kind of pressure. Now Cruz. There's a sea of blue shirts in there though. Kuwait clear their lines again. Now Aziz, a chance to run and relieve the pressure, and he's won a free kick. Foul by Franjic.
I'm surprised if Franjic doesn't get a booking here. It seemed a fairly cynical trip. The referee's not going to book him on this occasion. He's going to have to lead that line very well, Aziz.
Sani over this free kick. By Alenzi instead. Franjic. Spiranovic. For all their possession, they've not really troubled Hamid yet in the Kuwait goal, Australia. Behic. Al Ibrahim. Alenzi. Well under pressure, here's Al-Qahtani. Australia beginning to up the work rate when Kuwait have possession. Here's Faisal. Strong challenge by Franjic. Equally determined from Al Ibrahim.
Yeah, that's what he's in the side to do. Al Ibrahim, the holding midfield player. Just trying to protect his two centre-halves. When the ball goes out wide, he goes and joins his fullbacks as well, just to try and double up. Certainly has worked hard in this first 20-odd minutes.
Sainsbury. Now Jedinak. Cahill, the obvious targets. Well claimed by Hamid. Cahill felt he was being shoved there by Hussein.
Yeah, the referee will keep an eye on that. There's the diagonal ball. Cahill trying to get in between the fullback and the centre half. Hussein just gives him a nudge, makes it easy for Hamid Youssef.
Needs to be careful, Hussein. He's scored the first goal of the tournament, picked up the first yellow card of the tournament. Certainly doesn't want to pick up the first red card of the competition. Behich with the throw. Would you have expected more from Australia in the opening 25 minutes?
I expect more crosses to come into the box. They've got lots of possession. It's easy for them to have possession in these sort of areas. It's what they do to try and find space in the attacking third. Here comes the big diagonal. It's quite played by Jedinak.
Nice turn by Leckie. A good challenge though by Hussein. Probably becoming the central figure of this match. It's a corner to Australia.
So Cahill and Speranovic and Jedinak don't need to get in a little cluster here. They're not up against man markers.
Oh, with aerial power though, this Australian team. Jedinak winning the header. Hussein with the header away. It's a goal kick. Final touch off Jedinak. Well, Bahrain didn't exactly set the world alight in terms of their qualification. They finished second in their group, some 7 points behind Iran. Lebanon and Thailand were the other teams in that group, and Kuwait's only 2 wins came against the bottom of the table Thailand. Sainsbury with the touchback to Ryan. Now Speranovic. The form hasn't exactly been top draw from Kuwait. Qualified just a point ahead of Lebanon in the end. Franic. Now Jedinak.
Got to switch the play quickly here.
Leckie. Still going Leckie. Oh, it was a risky challenge from Al Hajri. Got away with it though.
Oh, good little turn by Leckie. So good at running with the ball. When the ball gets played to him, he just tries to nutmeg the defender. There it is. Al Hajri gets back and gets a good tackle in. Referee right on the spot, good refereeing.
Another Australian corner though. Header away by Al-Qahtani. And the first time shot off target from Luongo.
Yeah. Struck it well, always going wide. Player on the edge of the box to keep it back in play, keep the pressure on.
Just the 1 goal in 16 appearances for Swindon this season, Luongo. In his first major tournament, just 5 caps ahead of tonight. Most of Kuwait's good work has come on this near side with Al-Qahtani and Faisal. Al-Qahtani with the throw now. It's not been good news for Swindon Town. The Asian Cup, Luongo's central midfield partner Yasser Kazim has been called up by Iraq. So Swindon have had the heart ripped out of their team for the next month. Hajri's header. Sainsbury. Franic. Cruz. Challenge again from Al-Qahtani.
They're trying to make those little runs from inside to out to get down the side of Kuwait.
Aziz. Australian throw. Over rather easily there, to Cruz. Now Maxid. Now Hajri, back to Hussein, the goal scorer. Hamid. Too high though. Another Australian throw.
Now Australia switch play quickly.
Back by Al Ibrahim again in that midfield. Aziz with the touch. Next challenge wins it back for Australia. Now Hajri has gone down for Kuwait. This is Cahill though, who's playing on. Hitch had made a storming run forwards. Cahill didn't find him, and meanwhile Al Hajri is still down.
Yeah, Australia had every right to carry on. There's been some tough tackling from Kuwait, sliding in. Takes a whack himself there, Al Hajri.
Let's see what happens here. Not a great deal. Fine.
I think the crowd think he'll be fine.
They do, don't they?
Not too much sympathy.
They do have the toughest start of any of the 16 nations at the Asian Cup. Kuwait taking on the host nation here, and then next up in Canberra they face South Korea in what will be a repeat of the 1980 final. South Korea, as I said earlier, desperate to get their hands on this Asian Cup trophy. The first two editions of it, and then never been champions since, which is something of an anomaly given how dominant they are in the region in terms of World Cup qualification. To sit back and watch as Japan have dominated the event. Here's Behic. That is a really tough start, and then it is Oman in the final group match, as it was in the Gulf Cup.
Well, that's the strange thing, isn't it, about Japan? Do well at international level, but at club level, they don't do particularly well in the Asian Champions League.
Whereas the Korean clubs do. Yeah, it is a strange one. Here's Luongo. Winning every challenge at the moment, Kuwait. Sultan timing that one to perfection.
Well, the tactics are working for Malul at the moment. Making Australia play in front of his side, getting everybody behind the ball, frustrating them. To make matters better, they scored that early goal as well.
Sainsbury. Touch off from Leckie. Now Cruz is in there. Big appeals every time a player goes down. Here's a chance. But the flag is up against Cruz. But every time there's a challenge in that Kuwaiti penalty area, there's roars from the spectators trying to force the referee into a decision. Clearly offside, Cruz. 7 appearances this season for Bayer Leverkusen in the Bundesliga. He's struggled for regular games since a move from Düsseldorf in 2013.
He's a good player for Düsseldorf. So hasn't quite had the same impact at Bayer Leverkusen. Slight step up.
Used to play here for Melbourne Victory before a move to Brisbane, Robbie Cruz. Very much part of that Australian squad that reached the final 4 years ago in Doha. Lecky. Strong challenge again from Al-Qahtani. Started the tournament really brightly, the left back. Turn away from Luongo, it's a great ball, and it's an equaliser from Tim Cahill. Great work from Massimo Luongo, and Cahill really couldn't miss. He is up and running at the 2015 Asian Cup, and so are Australia. 1-1.
Well, that was much better from Australia. They did things quickly off the throw-in. Gets a bit of luck to start with the bounce, but then does really well just to wriggle away from a couple of challenges. But even better, he sees the bus. And we talked about Tim Cahill working for space in the box. He takes the defenders in to start with, just takes a step back, finds the space, and a good finish. But made by that man there, Luongo. Clever play down the right-hand side, but also good movement from Cahill in the box.
Aziz. Well, they couldn't get to half-time, Kuwait. Now Australia will be looking to have a lead themselves by the break. Al-Hajri, free kick Australia.
No, I think he got that one wrong, the referee, completely. Al-Hajri's going for the ball, and the Australian player was leaning into him. Here it is again, that's a perfect tackle. What you don't see is the angle that Cruz is making no attempt to go for the ball. He's actually leaning into the player.
More danger then for Kuwait.
Well, this time they're not marking zonally. They are trying to hold a high line. There's a lot of space. That's better position. Could go another 2 or 3 yards back, I believe. Ball's going to be bent in behind them. Going to be running back towards their own goal, the Kuwaiti players.
5 gold shirts in there. Australia hit Kuwait with a double whammy here. The delivery like that. Saying getting the initial header. Here's Faisal.
No idea what Teresi was looking for there. Space was in behind the defenders, made it the wrong side of them.
Turn here by Lecky, who was being challenged by Al-Hajri. Twice now Al-Hajri has put in risky challenges, to say the least, in the penalty area. Oh, caught in possession now, Sultan. Lecky again charging through. Alenzi with the challenge that time, but Australia keep up the pressure here with Luongo, who's gone down looking for it. And I think it was rather fortunate the referee didn't produce a yellow for that.
The referee's in excellent position. Here it is again, he falls over. Yeah, and Lecky then throws himself to the ground. The referee's right on that occasion. Is he right here as well? Oh, the foot does come out. It's a risky challenge.
Certainly got more of a case from that angle. Aziz up against Sainsbury. Such a partisan crowd, isn't it, here for Australia? Everything is against Kuwait. Long-range efforts from Al-Hajri. Rather wild attempt off target.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's the most popular person in the ground. Al-Hajri.
Sainsbury. Franjic. Troisi. Al-Hajri to Aziz. Salem. Hussein. Hajri. Now Ibrahim. It's left short and Lecky looking to break through, but Al-Qahtani covers.
And quick to try and win the ball back, Australia. Once they lose it, they try and win it back quickly.
Behic. Sainsbury. It's neat from Australia. Franic with the cross in, but Hajri with the header away. Sporanovic. Challenged by Al-Qahtani. Can't hold on to it at the moment though, Kuwait. Now this is Franic with the ball in. It was behind Cruz though.
Well, he will get forward, Franic. If Lecky goes infield, support Cahill. Franic loves to get forward down the right-hand side and get crosses in. That's the tale of the game so far. Great start from Kuwait. Australia has been dominant in possession. Haven't created too many opportunities, but the one they have created was well taken by Cahill after good play by Luongo.
Alenzi. Now Hajri. He's getting stick from the crowd because of that injury that they seem to think that he feigned earlier on.
I think it's fair to say the Australian crowds aren't known for their generosity towards the opposition, as many an English test side cricket will tell you, or the rugby team.
Desperate for Australia to go all the way in this competition. Tougher test will most definitely lie ahead. Tracy. Now Hajri. Maxid. Sainsbury. He and Sporanovic have had so much of the ball unchallenged. Now Franic. Poor touch from Lecky though. He's fortunate to win it back off Al-Qahtani. Now Franic. Sainsbury. There's no pressure on the ball whatsoever for Australia when they have the ball inside their own half. Kuwait more than happy to sit and retreat. Easy.
Yeah, trade the 1-2 to start with. Got in behind the defender, and the ball came back to him again. Now, can they get a better delivery this time? Again, zonal marking from Kuwait. Good run at it from the Australian players.
It goes. Jedinak jumping. It's a free kick for Kuwait. Jedinak with the foul on this occasion. Lenzi is down, the Kuwaiti captain.
Yeah, good battle between those two players. He does get his head on it, but he actually falls on the ankle of Nasaidi Alenzi.
They do have a history of winning continental competitions. They were 4-time Oceania champions. Went out as such, winning the title in 2004. They never failed to reach the final of that competition.
It's fair to say there wasn't too much competition in that tournament, was there?
New Zealand, yeah. I mean, there's no doubting it's proved to be a good move for Australia, and you wonder how long it'll be before New Zealand follow suit as well. Oceania will be keen for that not to happen.
Here is the challenge again. Watch as he falls on the ankle. There it is. I don't think he does it on purpose, Jedinak. Yeah, because qualification from the Oceania group always ends up in a playoff game, doesn't it?
The two federations don't just merge into one. It's Hussein. The AFC division has become really competitive now. Jedinak is back on. Al-Qahtani, you felt, just held off making the 50-50 challenge. Ball is back with Hamid.
Almost a really good pass from Parisi. Just trying to bend that ball forward.
Qahtani. Ibrahim. Qahtani, the pressure from Luongo, took no chances. 90 seconds for Australia to try and get themselves a half-time lead. No doubt if they go in level, Kuwait will unquestionably be the far happier of the two teams, although look a little brighter now for Australia that they have levelled the game, to the shock of the early concession. Franjic. Good ball in from Franjic, and that is the lead for Australia. Luongo, the provider of the equaliser, scores the second himself. It is Australia 2, Kuwait 1, and the Socceroos will have that half-time lead.
Always a threat when the ball goes into the box, Australia. Franjic down the right-hand side. All he does is just take it back onto his left foot here. Just delivers the ball. They've got three players in at the far post, but what a good header it was from Luongo, the midfield player, timing his run to perfection. He does really well to keep over the top of it and head it back across the goalkeeper. It's not good marking, but it's an excellent technical header, and in behind him, of course, was Tim Cahill. If they get crosses into the box with enough quality, Australia will score goals.
You tend to think if Luongo not met that, then Cahill was set to score his second of the game. And as it is, Massimo Luongo scores his first international goal, and what a time to do it. Free kick for Kuwait.
Just time for the centre-halves to go up here. Centre-backs for Kuwait. Need a good delivery into the box. Put a bit of pressure on Australia.
Could we have another twist?
Aziz.
Throws it in by Aziz. It's a decent delivery as well. Needed the intervention in the end of Sporanovic, and still it's not away. They're appealing for handball there as well, Kuwait. They do look a threat from set pieces when they get them.
What a delivery that was from Aziz. Bent in. It's very good defending by Sporanovic in the end.
He's a decent player, Aziz. He had a couple of years playing in the Czech Republic for Pribram. A year in Belgium as well at Mouscron. Before returning to Kuwait to play for the dominant team in that country, Kadzia, where so many of the national team are drawn from. Qahtani's header. Well, the game plan worked for 32 minutes for Kuwait. It could develop into a long second half. Franjic with the throw. Truth, apart from the goal that they snatched from a corner, some pretty determined defending, they have looked a team largely out of their depth. That's Troisi. That brings to an end what was potentially looking like a disastrous first half for the host nation, Australia, when Kuwait were headed in front through the central defender Hussein just 8 minutes in, but Mr. Reliable, Tim Cahill, popping up with his 37th international goal for Australia. And just as it looked as though Kuwait would hold on to parity at half-time. Massimo Luongo, provider of the first, scored the second. 2-1, Australia leads. Welcome back, still awaiting the arrivals of the two teams. No surprise to see that stat. Australia at 65% possession. 5 shots each is perhaps the one big surprise on that. The one yellow card is for Hussein, who scored Kuwait's goal. And just the one corner for Kuwait, which resulted in that Kuwaiti goal. They had a free kick as well, not too long before half-time. It was a good delivery again by Aziz, so perhaps if they can keep the scoreline to 2-1, Stuart, they can be a threat from set pieces. We've seen that already.
Well, they certainly fancy their chances at set plays. As soon as they get any sort of free kick, the centre-halves come up. It's a pity they didn't defend quite so well in their own box when the ball came in. But they're going to have to push out a bit more. They're going to have to try and win the ball back that little bit quicker.
Sides making their way out then for the second half. The target for Kuwait, of course, will be to keep it as tight as possible, but unlike when they were level and a goal up, they need to find a goal from somewhere. Otherwise, they will be under a great deal of pressure going into their second match against South Korea after the disaster that was the Gulf Cup for them at the end of last year, failing to reach the semi-finals for the first time since 2007. There's a very real prospect that Kuwait's Asian Cup could be over after the opening 2 games by the time they get a shot at making amends against Oman. So a big second half for both these teams. Australia looking for 3 points in the bag ahead of their second game against Oman. And Kuwait, well, they'd be absolutely delighted with a point, but given the golfing class between these two teams, it is difficult, Stuart, to make a case for Kuwait in the second 45.
Yeah, it's going to need a couple of moments of inspiration from them. You didn't see too much build-up play. Had that one bit of good combination play down the left-hand side that resulted in the corner from which they scored. But apart from that, Aziz has been fairly isolated up front.
They did prove in the qualifiers, though, with the 1-1 draw against Iran. They are capable of holding their own against Asia's best. That was the only match that Iran failed to win in the qualifying tournaments. Australia haven't been in the best form themselves coming into this. They lost their last 2 internationals against Qatar and Japan. They've actually only won 1 of the last 11 matches, a 3-2 win against Saudi Arabia back in September, a match that was played in London. They lost 8 of those 11 games, though, including the 3 at the World Cup.
It was a tough challenge going in straight away. Sliding in, the captain. Mesaidi Alenzi on Tim Cahill. He's not slowing it in his own back, Tim Cahill.
Strong challenge by Alenzi. Jedinak. Sporanovic. You would think it would be a question of how many in this second half for Australia. And nobody was banking on Kuwait taking that early lead. That has to be a foul. And it's taken down. And the yellow cards. Al-Qahtani. And the yellow card is for Faisal, left-sided midfielder.
Yeah, Al-Qahtani came out to the ball. Faisal's running back. It's him that catches the on-rushing Franic. Franic got the wrong side in to start off with.
Zaid, one of the lesser experienced players in this Kuwaiti squad. Just a handful of caps prior to this tournament, the 23-year-olds. But an early chance for Australia to put a buffer between themselves and Kuwait. Tracy over this. The lead remains at 1. You feel Kuwait have half a chance, but should it become a bigger gap, it's difficult to see them getting back into it. Whipped in by Troisi, just too high for Sainsbury. He's arriving at that back post.
Very nearly went in at the back post as well. Just needed a little bit more bend on it. Starts to come round here. 2 players at the far post.
Playing his football these days, Tracy. Zulte Waregem in Belgium. Struggling for regular first-team appearances, though. 2 goals in 5 matches so far this season in the Jupiler League. Summer signing from Melbourne Victory. It's a tough watch, isn't it, for Malul?
He hasn't had too much time. Certainly not. Postecoglou. There's the manager, Nabil Malul. Tunisian.
52 years of age. Former coach of Tunisia and a former Tunisian international midfielder. Spent most of his career in his home country, but did actually have 2 years playing for Hanover in Germany between 89 and 91. Cleared by Ryan.
Still not coming out and pressing the ball, Kuwait. Just going to play the same tactics and hopefully they can get a free kick, a set play in a good area.
It is what they're relying on, isn't it? I mean, they haven't, like, opening up Australia at all in open play.
But he's done a good job, although the results haven't been fantastic. When they went to the World Cup, they were very much considered the worst team at the World Cup. But they put in some good performances, both against Chile and against the Netherlands.
Took over from the popular coach, Holger Osijek, in October 2013. It was Osijek's failure to bring through new talent and an over-reliance on the so-called golden generation that reached the last 16 at the 2006 World Cup that was seen as the main reason for Osijek's dismissal. Postecoglou has certainly introduced some new, fresh faces into the Australian lineup. Cahill bundled off the ball though. Saleh. Aziz was looking for that.
Crowd unsympathetic again.
It's not really in Kuwait's best interest now to stay down for no reason.
Yeah, there's certainly wasn't a foul. Cahill was trying to shield the ball. There's the challenge. Oh, see his ankle just turns there as he goes to ground.
A good gripper Hussein shirt, Cahill.
Just sit, twist there. Got a slight problem. Hussein, the goal scorer.
Yes, and this will be a big problem if they lose him, Kuwait. Actually, given their over-reliance on the defence, just too shy of 50 caps.
Well, as you were talking about before the game, there are 1 or 2 players that can come off the bench and make a difference. El Motoa. El Shem Ari, also a good attacking player.
I almost feel he's on a bit of a hide into nothing here. Nabil Malul, absolutely no time at all to work with the team, just that one match, albeit a creditable result, the 1-1 draw against Iraq. Iraq, a nation who proved that surprises do happen in the Asian Cup when they won the 2007 edition.
Ball just overhit by Teresi. Off the skiddy surface that's they're now playing on with this rain coming down. Certainly freshened everything up.
Only 7 nations have been Asian champions. Australia hoping to increase that tally to 8. Knee in the back there for Sultan by the looks of things. One of those previous 7 winners. Israel, of course, no longer eligible to play in the competition, having made the move to UEFA.
I think that was a bit naughty from Flanic. It's a good jump from him, and then he just had a little flick out with his right boot. I think he knew what he was doing there. A cheap shot by the right back.
His free kick to Hussein. He's back on again. They held on to the ball for too long, though. There's Troisi. Made a bit of a mess of that.
Still limping slightly, Hussein. Unsurprisingly, haven't seen that replay of him twisting his ankle.
It's miscontrols all round now, isn't it? Al-Hajri gifting Australia a throw. Behic will take it. Cruz. I thought he carried that out for a second. It was a good run, though, by Cruz. Now Ibrahim with the clearance. Australia, though, keeping Kuwait pen back. Behic with it. Yeah, he's struggling, Hussein. He's an experienced player. They won't want to lose him, but there comes a point, Stuart, when he's going to have to be taken off.
Yeah, it's no good having a player limping around who can't run. Came on and lost the ball immediately.
Behic. Hussein gets it away. The header by Al-Hajri. Aziz wins the throw. Busy little player, Aziz, a touch of quality as well.
Haven't really seen enough, have we, from Al Maqsid out on this right-hand side. Talented player. There's been a lot of talk about him. Hasn't really been able to get involved in the game in that 5-man midfield.
Sainsbury. It's the easiest ball for Behic to deal with, but he's done really well to pick out Cruz. Hussein hobbles away after that latest challenge. He's trying to battle on and run through the paint. Behic beaten to that by Al Maqsid. Spiranovic. Now Sainsbury. Troisi. Behic. Cruz. Jedinak. Cahill. That was a neat build-up from Australia, given away in the end by Cahill.
Now they're going to try and win the ball back quickly. Kuwait going to have to play long to a lone striker. It's always going to be won back by Australia.
Let's face it, given his height, Aziz is never going to win a ball like that against either Sainsbury or Spiranovic.
But Kuwait were made to play that ball because Australia closed them down so quickly. It's the only option for the left back.
Spiranovic. They're playing in Australia now. Matthew Spiranovic with Western Sydney Wanderers. The overlap here, and it's out for a corner.
Really good pace from the fullback, Flanic. Didn't look as though he was going to be favourite to win that ball there. He's been a real threat down the right-hand side. And he's going to have to make way, Hussein.
That is a big loss for Kuwait. Goal scorer is off. Emma Al-Matoug is on to replace him. Shake of the head as he wanders away. He has twisted that ankle badly enough. It could even be the end of his competition. Just 3 days to recover for the match against South Korea.
Looks so. Al-Matoug has gone to right back. And Al-Hadri has gone into centre half.
Behic. There is Al-Hadri. Now Behic. Back by Al-Ibrahim. Now McSeeds. Closing down again by Australia, and it's never too long before Kuwait give possession up. Sainsbury. No more scoring yet. It's 2 goals, 11 minutes apart, turning a 1-0 deficit into a 2-1 lead for Australia. Challenge from the substitutes. Al-Matoug, but here's a chance for Cahill, and it's a great save by Hamid. Glorious chance to increase the lead for Australia, and then his second of the night, Tim Cahill. Danger not over yet, though. Cruz. Still it's not away. As Troisi tried to burst through.
Well, Cahill did most things right there. Good pressure by Australia, winning the ball back in their opposition's box. He didn't quite get it in the corner, did he, Cahill? But a good save by Hamid.
Katani, Luongo. Header out by Alenzi. Coming back as quickly as it's being cleared, though, for Kuwait. Behic. Now McSeeds. Australia utterly dominating now. Spiranovic. Seems a question of time before the third goal arrives for Australia. Well, apart from that Cahill chance, in truth, despite their dominance territorially, still not creating that much. Chance now, maybe. Here's Cruz. Jedinak. Cruz again into Luongo. The opening here. Oh! That is so unlucky. Well, that's even closer than Cahill came to extending the lead for Australia.
Well, they're totally dominant now, Australia. Leckie going back onto his left foot. Brilliant strike. Hit with power. Also trying to bend it round the goalkeeper. Well, I thought Leckie was their best player at the World Cup, or their most dominant player at the World Cup. Hasn't been involved too much today, but that's what he can do.
Plays in the German second division for the league leaders, Ingolstadt. His ball in again to Cruz, who's gone down, penalty. Well, there's been a few risky challenges gone in that penalty area from Kuwaiti players, particularly in the first half. And this one was right in front of Rashvan Ermatov, the Uzbek referee. And he had no hesitation whatsoever in pointing to the spot.
Well, he's been a live wire. Cruz just picking up the ball here, takes it past that touch. And it's the recovering defender, Sultan, that brings him down. He knew as soon as he touched him it was going to be a penalty. And I think the referee's done a good job again. You can see why he's so highly regarded. Now, Jedinak is a good spot taker. Can he prove it here?
5 goals this season. 6 in the international jersey of Australia. Mile Jedinak, Socceroos captain, increases the lead to 3-1 and surely puts the outcome of this match beyond any doubt. The host nation up and running, and they are going to be heading surely into their second game against Oman in Sydney with 3 points in the bag.
Well, he made it look simple. Stuttering run-up. I think he waited for the goalkeeper to go one way and then just passed it into the other side. Here's that stuttering run-up, looking at the goalkeeper. Had the goalkeeper chosen the right way? Does he have a look at the goalkeeper? No, he doesn't. Had the goalkeeper chosen the right way, it would have been an easy save because it wasn't hit with great power. It wasn't hit into the corner.
2 goals at the 2011 Asian Cup. Goals against South Korea and Bahrain. Now he has one against Kuwait to add to that list. 61st minute penalty. Australia 3, Kuwait 1.
Kuwait are going to make a change here.
It's Yusuf Nasser to come on, who is a forward with a good scoring record, 32 goals in 55 internationals. 3 goals in the qualifying tournament for Yusuf. Scored in the 3-1 wins against Thailand and the 1-1 draw away in Lebanon.
But it's your man, Aziz, that's been brought off. The player who was playing through the middle. So it's just a straight swap, really.
Back here by Al Maqseed. And here is Yusuf, forcing the save from Ryan. Well, what an introduction that almost was for Yusuf Nasser.
Well, it all came about because they pressed the ball higher up the field, won it back. Lovely reverse ball through to Yusuf. It's all getting a bit feisty now. Some strong tackles going in. The referee letting 1 or 2 challenges go.
It's been a terrific opening game. Sometimes they can be rather dour and tight affairs, opening games to major tournaments, but something far from it. As much as Kuwait would have liked that, Australia have just simply been too good for them. Now Tim Cahill with the points in the bag. He's been taken out of the firing line, 35 years of age now. And he is replaced by Tommy Juric, 23-year-old from Western Sydney Wanderers, who scored the winner in the Asian Champions League final against Al Hilal. He is on to get his first taste of a major international tournament. Win just his 6th cap. Katani. Al Maqseed. Good work from Al Maqseed, cleared away by Spiranovic.
Just hear the crowd singing their appreciation of Tim Cahill. Quite rightly so as well. What a servant he's been to the Socceroos.
Twice FA Cup finalists, of course, with Millwall and Everton.
He's certainly come a long way since I was watching him, and Lucas Neal, likes of Stephen Reid, playing in that Millwall side that got into the Championship. He wasn't the most technically gifted. Certainly had a great spring and determination. Made the most of his talent, or he's still making the most of his talent.
Now Katani. Now Faisal. Actually on the ball, Kuwait, they've got some players of technical quality, likes of Al Maqseed and Yusuf and Faisal. They've just been hustled out of it far too easily by Australia's work rate. Franic.
Could be a very difficult 3 games for this Kuwaiti side.
Jelinek. Back by Saleh. Sultan. One of my earliest memories of a World Cup was a Kuwaiti team sitting down in protest and the head of the Kuwaiti FA coming down and complaining about a goal that they conceded against France because there was a whistle in the crowd. A complaint that was bizarrely upheld and the goal ruled out. Kuwait eventually lost the game anyway to France.
A Michel Platini effort.
It was an extraordinary moment in the annals of World Cup history. Here's a chance now for Australia though. Cruz going through the middle, sliding challenge by Al Matoug was a good one this time.
Yeah, Matoug did well to get back. They just delayed the pass through to Cruz. That's what a fullback should do, get round on the cover. He saw the danger. He just about got the slide challenge in.
That will be a goal kick.
Yeah, what a challenge that is from the fullback. See the ball, see it's getting away from Cruz. Just slides in with the outside of his right boot. Brilliant from the fullback.
He's had a really lively game. Robbie Cruz, relatively fresh for this tournament because of the lack of game time at Leverkusen.
It's always the question, fresh or rusty?
Depends if he plays well or not. If he plays well, he's fresh. If he has a poor performance, he's rusty. This Australian team come from wide and varied backgrounds. Many of the players plying their trade at European clubs. Kuwait don't have that. Most of the squad, as I was saying at the start, do play in Kuwait. There was an attempt from the Kuwaiti businessman Fawaz Al-Hassawi, the owner and chairman of Nottingham Forest, to get a couple of players into the city ground. Work permit issues, though, prevented that. Khaled Al-Rashidi, one of the substitute goalkeepers, did have one appearance at Nottingham Forest. Here's Saleh. Al-Maqsid. Matoug is outside him. And that's a corner.
Yeah, good switch of play. An overload down the right-hand side. Didn't make the most of it. The substitute, Al-Matoug. But we talked in the first half about them being quite dangerous at set plays. Australia man marking with a player in the near post zone and a player on the 6-yard box who should attack everything.
Score with that only corner of the first half, Kuwait. Had a doubt with though. Put away by Speranovic. Matoug to Al-Maqsid. Little ball into Saleh. And the first time shot is off the crossbar from El Ibrahim. I think Ryan may have got a touch on that, but that's really unlucky. And Kuwait was so nearly back in the game.
You said he may have got a touch. I think that was a great save. That was going right into the top corner. What a good strike. I think Ryan just gets his right hand to it. We'll see it again in a moment. Big moment in the game.
Faisal. It's better though from Kuwait. Better away from Speranovic. Too long in this game that the Australian defence has had nothing to think about. What a shock that would have been to the system had that nestled into the net from El Ibrahim. Credit Ryan, who's had very little to do. So produce a save like that. Goal kick. Chance maybe to see that strike again from El Ibrahim. Here it is.
That's great first touch. Hits right through the back of the ball, and there's the save with the bottom hand, his right hand. That was going in.
Terrific goalkeeping.
That was good attacking play as well to get the first touch down. He improvised with a shot, just hitting straight through the ball.
Nathan Burns on for Robbie Cruz.
Well, many people thought that Burns might start. He's been in it really good form in the A-League so far this season.
4 years at AEK Athens in Greece. It was just his 8th cap, though, for Australia, the 26-year-olds. Former Greek Cup winner. Played for Australia at pretty much every level, from under 17 upwards. Al-Qahtani seems to be struggling as well for Kuwait. Ryan following in the footsteps of Mark Schwarzer. Pretty big gloves to fill. Another of the 2006 golden generation, so highly thought of. Just 22 though, Matt Ryan. First choice at the World Cup. Is Behic. Troisi.
Flies his trade abroad. There's Matt Ryan in Belgium with Brugge.
Voted the Belgian League goalkeeper of the year last season. The stock is certainly rising. So it will have gone a long way towards helping that as well. It's a superb piece of goalkeeping.
Very nearly stayed in play, didn't it, there?
It's a determined run from Juric as well to try and keep it in. Well, it's made it a much more comfortable ending to the game for Australia, that save from Matt Ryan, than it would have been at 3-2. Another change for Kuwait. And here is the player we all expected to start the game. Badr Al-Mutawa is coming on for his 147th international cap. He scored 47 international goals for Kuwait. Former Asian Player of the Year, runner-up in 2006 and third in 2010. He's won 7 Kuwaiti League titles.
Obviously, at the moment, not a favourite with Malul, the new coach. Usually plays in the number 10 role. Can drift out wide. Have to reshuffle the side slightly with Al-Qahtani coming off.
Did score 4 years ago in Doha in the 2-1 defeat to Uzbekistan. He is the fans' favourite in Kuwait. Now he's finally on. Probably too late to make a difference. Behic. Cross in, it's a good header! It's off the bar again! Well, Burns really unlucky. Looping header, and Hamid was well beaten. And for the 3rd time in this game, the crossbar has been struck. Behic. Another chance to cross. Delivers again, but it's a poor one this time.
Well, you won't see a much better header than this from Burns. Ball was bent in towards him. It's the diving header, gets across the front of the centre half, almost loops over the goalkeeper. There's the cross, lots of pace in it, so he just needs to glide it goalwards, or glance it goalwards. He certainly does that.
They're out by Sporanovic. Part of that Western Sydney Wanderers Asian Champions League win last year. Vastly experienced player who had a spell with Nuremberg in Germany, 4 years playing with the Aarau Reds. He's playing regularly when we covered the J-League on this channel.
Well, it's good that an Australian side have gone on to win that Asian Champions League. Showing that the A-League is coming a long way forward.
Corner for Kuwait. A chance maybe to make an awkward ending to this game. Al McSeed's ball in. Burns. strong challenge. Lecky has it. Touch off by Al McSeeds. Now Saleh. Lost out to Troisi. Here's Lecky. Hazri just getting a foot in the way though, but Australia have it back in search of this fourth goal. Franic. Sultan with the clearance. Zurich. El Ibrahim. Denied by that terrific save by Ryan. Matug. Ball in behind. Here's a chance for Matawa. And a second chance, or squares it this time. And Australia get it away. And that is a couple of times now that Australia have been more or less opened up by Kuwait. And Matawa, we feel he perhaps could have done better, but here's Lecky. Skips away from Al Hazri. Lecky. Oh, it's played behind Juric. Such an open game.
Well, why he wasn't playing from the start, I'll never know. Al Matawa, his run was brilliant to stay on side. He didn't really have too many other options other than shoot for goal. He did everything right, but it was another good save from Matt Ryan.
Made in by Behic. Saleh wanted too much time. It's one thing Kuwait haven't had when being in possession of the ball this evening. Troisi. Tower and Yusuf, and both have been dangers since coming on for Kuwait. There was more than one or two raised eyebrows when Tower wasn't named in the starting 11. There's Luongo. Much quieter second half actually from Massimo Luongo.
There's another good save. Doesn't have a look up, he just smashes it up and he tries to beat the goalkeeper for pace, but he's well positioned. And the next one, he tries just to roll it into the front player to sweep it in. And a good challenge came in from Franic.
Instantly added a bit of quality.
But the run, you saw the last bit of it there, but I was watching his run right from he started on the other side of the field and he stayed on side, he stayed on side, he picked out his run perfectly.
Faisal. Saleh. Zal Matug. Renzi. Behic clears. Well, they've been far from infallible in this game, Australia. Tougher games to come. Oman, remember, who beat Kuwait 5-0 in the Gulf Cup. One of the outsiders, but could cause a few surprises. And South Korea will be a really tough game. Australia will be hoping it's job done by the time they face the Koreans. They have been opened up a couple of times by Kuwait in this second half. Of course, the concession of that goal early on from the corner. They're going to have to be much tighter when they take on the likes of an Iran or a Japan or even a Korea.
You're absolutely right. Fasciano just getting himself ready over on that far side.
You talk about the new generation of Socceroo players, but he's very much one of the old guard coming on. Bresciano, 34-year-old, playing in Qatar these days for Al Gharafa, following 12 years in Syria. He will come on and win his 82nd cap. Take part in his 3rd Asian Cup. Alenzi. Time running out for Kuwait if they are to snatch an unlikely point. Up towards Al Mutawa. Yusuf. Mutawa. Away. Australia again, only as far though as Al Matoug. It's a free kick now for Kuwait.
They're wanting a yellow card. Tracy was quick to get the tackle in on Al Matoug. Now a chance. Can they deliver a good ball into the box? Might bring Bresciano on while they're defending a set play.
Seeds set to deliver. Sultan getting involved with Jedinak.
Jedinak still wants to have a little go.
Hold that line on the edge of the area. Jedinak desperately. Comes the ball in though.
Well, he actually got back and defended it, but I thought his positional play was all wrong there, Jedinak.
Again for Kuwait, headed away by Sainsbury. Free kick for Australia and the danger over for the time being. They can make that third change. Luongo makes way, much quieter second half than he had in the first. Creator of Tim Cahill's goal and scorer of the second himself. Had a good performance in the Swindon Town midfielder, replaced by Mark Bresciano. Listen to the reaction for the 34-year-old former player with Empoli, Parma, Palermo and Lazio. Mike Cahill taking part in his 9th major international tournament.
Like a lot of players that play in Serie A in some of the lesser sides, they do go around the places.
Opening here maybe now for Juric, straight at the goalkeeper though. Comfortable save for Hamid, and then Troisi with the follow-up. Straight at the Kuwaiti goalkeeper. Immediately launches it long. Played by Leckie. Good cross, and it must be 4. It's a wonderful save by Hamid. Bresciano. Now Franjic. Bresciano again. And Hamid gathers this time. Well, you wonder how much he knew about it. It was saved with his feet. It was a lovely ball in by Leckie.
Well, that's what Leckie is all about. Whenever I've seen him play, he's been a good run with the ball. I've been a bit disappointed with him tonight. He can run past people with the ball. He's a good crosser. That one with the outside of his right boot into the space. Really should have been 4-1.
Tower, the touch off. Saleh. Strong header from Al-Hajri. Troisi. Had a spell himself in Serie A. Troisi with Atalanta and Bergamo before Kayserispor and Gençler Birliği in Turkey. Well, it's got off to just the kind of start they were hoping for, Australia. 5 minutes away plus stoppages from 3 points in the bag ahead of the next game in Sydney against Oman. From Kuwait, the tough start continues against South Korea. Which, given the quality of their side, can prove to be an even harder test than playing the hosts. Is Yusuf. Taking on Sainsbury. The challenge should be a corner.
Just about done enough, Sainsbury. Also might be beaten for pace. Here's the save. Look at this ball from Leckie. Outside of the right boot, into the space. There was the golden opportunity. Good save with his trailing foot.
Matoug. That's been wonderful viewing, hasn't it? Let's hope the rest of the Asian Cup lives up to this quality.
Well, it's a good quality pitch. Good conditions. Had a bit of rain as well. Just to quicken the pitch up. good refereeing as well. He's allowed the play to continue.
Tower. Ultimately coming to nothing though. Do you think Kuwait could have got a bit more out of this? Have they been a bit more adventurous from the off?
They may have done, but they also have left themselves a little bit open at the back.
But they have created chances.
Almost when the game's beyond them. Just think it was a very negative approach that he took right from the start. Team selection.
Here's Juric. Fizzed across. Well done, Hamid. He's got enough on it. You're absolutely right. It's one thing to set up defensively, isn't it? But it's another thing to start leaving your better players out, which Tower clearly is. Yeah, the game was gone by the time he was on.
And only he will know why he left him out.
Here he is again. To the run of Yusuf. Tracy. Now Lecky. Tracy. Jedinak, whose penalty pretty much wrapped up the points just after the hour mark. After Cruz was fouled.
Had a fairly easy game, hasn't he, Jedinak? Just sitting in front of his two centre-halves, switching the play. Never really been put under immense pressure defensively. Doesn't get any raking passes, he's just done everything simply and comfortably.
Play behind Burns. It's in the net, but the whistle had already gone. Ibrahim. Tower. Really the only Kuwaiti player since he's come on that seems to have time and space on the ball. Saleh. Now Seeds. Tracy. Challenge from Al Ibrahim. Now Seeds. Spread out to Al Tower. Franic. Al Tower. Straight at Ryan.
Once again, good play from him. Coming inside, played it into the front plane, supported. Good shot on the run.
Juric. 3 minutes to be added on.
I think Ange Postecoglou will be fairly pleased with his side's second half display. Be worried that
certainly does. Brugge may have their work cut out keeping hold of him. Just 22. Was an A-League winner at Central Coast Mariners in 2013 before the move to Belgium. Looks as though they've replaced Mark Schwarzer with another fine goalkeeper. Franic. Bresciano. Jedinak. Lecky. Leading them a merry dance again, Lecky. It's a terrific play. Oh, and it's in! Troisi smashes home the fourth goal for Australia and rounds off what has been a wonderful opening game for the Socceroos. James Troisi. Melbourne delight. It is Australia 4, Kuwait 1.
well, that was all about Lecky to start with, running with the ball. Watch how he just drops his shoulder, a couple of little step overs. Tries to shot himself, and when the ball falls free, look how quickly Troisi's onto it. Goalkeeper wouldn't have seen it till very, very late. He just hits it with power. But Teresi's been excellent in midfield for Australia. And I think that scoreline of 4-1 just sums up the difference between the two sides. But well played, Matthew Leckie to start off with.
Yeah, he looks really lively, doesn't he? Terrific runner with the ball. Teresi's second international goal. Commanding opening night victory for the host nation. Here's Youssef. After a shot lead for Kuwait inside the first 10 minutes, the match has pretty much gone how we all expected. Here's Teresi. Socceroos take their first step on the road, perhaps, to Sydney on January the 31st, where the final of the 2015 Asian Cup will be played. Much sterner tests will lie between now and then if Australia are to become the AFC's finest. They were given an early shock here through Hussein's goal after 8 minutes for Kuwait, but they responded well. Cahill and Luongo had Australia ahead by half-time. Jedinak's penalty and a late goal by James Teresi, rounding off what, as expected in the end, was a comfortable win for Australia. Kuwait did okay in patches, had a few chances. El Ibrahim hit the bar. Al Mutawa was lively when he came off the bench, which posed the question, why didn't their finest player start in the first place? Work to do for Kuwait then. It's South Korea for them next. It doesn't get any easier. But Australia play Oman with 3 points firmly in the bag. So no surprises, Stuart, and in the end Australia couldn't have expected much more from the opening game.
No, of course it started off badly for them.